One more segment.
Right.
Because I will say, I don't want to overstay because I do want to, and Bean, may God help you if you skip by this, but at the end of this show today, I'd love to hear a tender conversation between just Kevin and just Bean.
Well, you may need to stay here for that.
That's a good idea.
For that to happen. Okay. We'll take a quick break.
Right. It's the Kevin and Bean Show, the world-famous K-Rock.
It is the world-famous K-Rock. It is Kevin, Bean, Allie, Jensen, Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel, all hanging out for a great goodbye party that Bean didn't want.
Son of a bitch.
I tried to talk you into doing a big farewell. You wouldn't allow it. I wanted the listeners to be able to come and hug me.
We probably came up with 1,000 ideas, and he said no.
Yeah.
I said, let's do a beanie roast. Remember when I said that?
No,
I said, let's do the beanie roast.
That was our idea, and you said no.
That was a great idea.
Nobody cares. This is the final hour of my participation on the Kevin and Bean Show, but I want to mention again, the show continues forever. Just because I'm leaving doesn't mean everybody else isn't staying. And we have been catching up with some old friends today, including Dr. Drew Pinsky, who joins us on the phone right now. Hey, Doctor.
Hi, Bean. You sound so happy. We'll miss you.
You're very kind to say that. I actually am happy. People expect me to be sad because I'm leaving the greatest job in broadcasting. And although I will miss it, I am really focused on the future, and I'm really excited about the next chapter. Now, I could regret this in 6 months. I could think, oh, my God, I made the biggest mistake of my life.
And by the way,
good.
Don't call. We'll be good.
Yeah, I understand. No, believe me, I know I can't come back. I know the door is shut behind me. But I'm really excited. I'm excited about the next chapter.
I got to say, leaving this country looks more appealing all the time.
Not to England, though. Not to England.
Yes, England has its share of troubles. Dr. Drew, I'm so glad you're on today to add to the conversation, because one of the biggest moments, for reasons you'll never know, that happened to me while doing this show was at the 25th anniversary Acoustic Christmas show. When the Kevin and Bean Show is on stage getting ready to bring on No Doubt, who were the closers that night. And I stepped backward in the darkness and fell off the stage and fell 8 feet down in complete darkness and landed on my back onto concrete and was knocked unconscious. And when I came to, I don't know how much longer after I hit the pavement.
4 days.
You were the first face I saw. And I remember thinking two things. I remember thinking, thank God Dr. Drew is here, because I need a doctor right now. I cannot believe how much this hurts. And the second thing I thought was, oh my God, I can wiggle my toes. I'm not paralyzed, which I was so horrified when I hit that ground that I was going to be paralyzed.
And the third thing was, why does Dr. Drew have his hand on my pants?
He said it was necessary to conduct medical tests. But I mean, I just want you to know that I'll never, ever forget that moment, because I felt so comforted that you were there and that I knew that you would take care of me. And I don't know if I ever properly thanked you for that.
Well, that's very meaningful. Thank you very much. But I want to say two things. One is, Jimmy was the only other person that actually went down. I mean, everyone else stood up on stage, and Jimmy and I were the ones going down. And Jimmy just like, go, you know. Jimmy,
that was terrifying. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Yeah,
just boom, like a ton of bricks, and then onto a platform. It was crazy.
So I got something to say real quick. First off, you, my friend, are living a charmed life if the most terrifying thing you've ever seen is a DJ falling off a stage. And also, you being paralyzed, Bean, would be a lateral move. I don't think it would affect you as greatly as it would affect the rest of us.
But let's talk about him getting in the ambulance and then getting back out.
8 feet doesn't seem like a lot when you say it, but it was really scary. I mean, he just disappeared, and then, you know, Bean's not a guy that you see unconscious a whole lot. You know, to see him like... It was very scary. So,
and you had to be held back from jumping down to get him, right?
Well, no, I just, you know, I was concerned. So,
well, Jimmy was the one who was yelling at the people in the audience who were laughing about it, because Jimmy is the only one, along with Dr. Drew, who recognized that it was potentially very serious.
And now, number two, though, there's a second thing. Speaking of the seriousness, you, until this moment, categorically denied you hit your head or lost consciousness to me and Dr. Mo. Well, because had we known that, we would have insisted you went to the hospital, which you refused to do.
I wouldn't go to the hospital because I had my man Jimmy Kimmel to bring the car around to take me back to the hotel.
No. You wouldn't go to the hospital first. And Jimmy said, okay, then I'm going to take you.
I said, I am going to take you to my house because you were staying in a hotel. You weren't living here at the time. And I said, I'm going to take you to my house. I just want to keep an eye on you because I think you were unconscious. And you would not do that. And I said, well, please at least let me drive you to your hotel. And I was hoping once I got you in the car, I'd be able to just take it to my house. So you
or
agreed,
the hospital even, maybe. Who knows?
You agreed to that. And so I said, okay, you stay here. This is after the medics had examined Bean and said, okay, this seems like maybe it's okay. And so I said, you stay here. I'm going to go grab my car. We're at the Staples Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go out in the parking lot. And
it was at the Forum.
At the Forum.
Yeah.
This is not the first time this has happened, but I cannot find my car, and I am running as fast as I can.
And Jimmy was like really an adrenaline high. Like, I need to get this guy soon.
Oh, I convinced him to sit there and wait for me to get, and I really honestly, I felt despair and shame. And, yeah, I did. I was like, I'm supposed to be helping him, and now I'm making this worse. And I was so mad at myself. Like, you idiot, you never know where you parked your car. I never can remember I parked my car. And I'm hitting the button and hoping a light goes on somewhere, and I'm just running around the Forum.
And I remember just thinking, how long is it taking Jimmy to get his car?
Where did he park?
Jimmy is not the guy you want around in an emergency type situation.
I mean, you meant well, and you were, you were ready to help.
And you got your steps in.
That was bad. It was a bad moment for me. I apologize again.
I will say this about Dr. Drew as we wrap this up, is that as great as it is to have a friend who's a doctor, he is very stingy with the prescriptions.
Amen.
I got to tell you. I mean, what's the point of having a friend who's a doctor if you can't ever get him to write you some OxyContin or something once in a while?
Hey, Drew, you missed the poor man. He wanted to talk to you. I gave him your number off air.
So give your address.
Also an address, yeah.
Expect posse coming by the
the poor man called in today, Drew. Guess what? He's still bitter about being fired from K-Rock.
No, it's a shame. I know he's got a radio show now, and that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that's why he was.
So happy
That's why he called to plug it.
Well, Drew, are we going to keep?
One more thing, Bean.
Yes.
One more thing. Well, yes, we will keep in touch. In fact, Susan and I, my wife and I, were just sort of reminiscing about Bean stories. And Kevin, how many years have we been giving Bean stories about grief about his unique biology, his unique neurochemistry?
Since I met him.
And she remembered, and she goes, 25 years. Yeah. Do you remember when he came up to me and said, "Hey, you were probably Foxy once"?
Oh! Did I do that?
Bean.
That sounds like me, but I can't believe I did that.
He suffered head trauma at the Forum, people.
Bean, I do believe, has Asperger's for real, and he can't read a room. I've made 30 years my job has been to follow Bean around and then go, oh, he totally didn't mean that. He was just kidding. Don't take it personally.
Well, please apologize to your lovely wife, Susan, for me. I'm sorry about that,
Why even
Drew.
bring it up? Maybe she forgot.
And thank you so much for all of your years of service. I know you'll be continuing to be on every week on the show going forward, but it's been a real pleasure to be friends with you, Drew. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine, Bean. Please stay in touch.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
All right.
Oh, wow. You really wreaked a lot of havoc. You
sure did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have time for a couple of more moments before we break?
I'm realizing, like in that It's a Wonderful Life movie, that I was a terrible person. I didn't know that.
What do you mean was?
Hang on. We're at number
5.
And now, a moment with Bean. You got John Hamm back as your narrator again this year. He's pretty dreamy, right?
Oh, you're the worst.
I mean, let's be honest, Keith. Let's just be men here. I mean, he is amazing, effing amazing, right?
Did you just cuss, Bean?
I did. I've never done that before.
John Hamm just made you cuss.
That was a moment with Bean.
The one and only time he cussed on there.
And he usually doesn't like ham.
Number 4.
And now, a moment with Bean.
The only thing I can think is mistaken door. They thought
mistaken doorbell identity.
No, I was thinking. I'm not sure how to say it, but they meant to go to somebody else's house, got the wrong apartment or condo or house number, whatever you have.
How about wrong address? Like that?
That would have been a more succinct way to say it.
That was a moment with Bean.
Good fun, aren't they?
I am not a winner. All right, we got to take a break?
Yep.
We got to take a break. Guys, you stick around?
One more.
Let's do it.
One more.
It's the Kevin and Bean Show. K-Rock.
Dear Bean, Listen up, it's about to be a review of the past and definitely not included on the podcast. Before you step on stage for a potential roast, we offer you this rap, though it's not as great as toast. We refuse to take this back, hope we won't be in the file. If we start to bomb, we offer a pic of your sweet Zach to make you smile. Your legacy precedes you as the healthiest man alive. We promise not to hug you, but we'll gladly take a high five. There's no way to adequately describe how we feel, so we'll appreciate listen to your cover of Bastille. Thank you for your favorite bits of the show. We love you more than the Queen, Chocolate Milk, and Pluto. You've kept us entertained every morning of our lives. Our hearts, like Twitter stock, will take some deep dives. Just like the Edmund Fitzgerald, our hearts have never sank faster. Our thoughts about you leaving, oh no, this is a colossal disaster. Eclipse fever got us lit, Death Corner put us in distress. Thanks for the info, Bean, you made K-Rock us a cess. We're drinking scissor up tonight as a toast to Cardi B. Mr. Bad Example is the true leader of the party machine. Hope to see you at the post office, I hope for 7-Eleven, but we can't believe after all this time you're leaving us with Kevin. Pretty sad to see you go, just wanted to say how we feel, coping with some Tweet Swift and a succulent Chinese meal. You'll always have your brother, even Shinoda thinks it's lame. When people remember daylight saving time, we yell, Hall of Fame! Who gets penis slapped is something you've always made us ask. Finding someone who loves Christmas as much as you will be a task. Speaking of Christmas, please let the gift card wheel spin once more, yelling 1,000, 1,000 until your jaw hits the floor. When it comes to naked OJ, we know you'll put up a fight, but when it comes to jury duty, you're like Rodney, all right. Your kindness lost you $40, definitely put you in a rage. We'll reimburse you the money, just don't fall off the stage. Enjoy your move to England, we know it's not a fad, but that you're actually trying to escape Eric, Andre, and Josh Gad. Your legacy is endless, we can all concur. Keep wearing shorts every day, but maybe cut down on the rrrr. We love you, Bean, and wish you luck in all you do. The only way to send you off is with a hooty-hoo!
That is a long, long rap right there.
That is not annoying at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining from second one.
I'm moving to England now.
I moved and came back during the rap. I got homesick.
We're in our final minutes here of my final show on the Kevin Bean program with our good friends Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy, you asked earlier, and we got sidetracked for me to speak about Kevin.
He said he was going to demand it.
I demanded.
What is it you want to know? You've known us both well for a long time. What don't you know?
Well, it's not what I don't know. I know everything. I mean, I know everything about the two of you. I know more than I would be comfortable sharing on the air.
Probably knows more about me than B does.
Yeah, but I think that you haven't. I think that
Let me jump in.
Yes, this is not going to help. I'm just going to tell you right now.
All right, if you would ask any of us at 6 a.m., do you want to talk to poor man today?
Right.
The answer would be no.
Correct.
Absolutely not. But I think we're all glad we did.
Agreed.
In a sort of cathartic, end the chapter kind of way. And I think that's kind of what Jimmy's looking for and all the listeners are looking for here. Not necessarily tears, but I think we would regret it. I think we would regret it if that conversation didn't take place.
Jimmy, tell Bean that I don't talk directly to him.
I think it's just interesting when you are, because I did, before Adam and I were partners, I was on the radio with some other guys, and it's hard. It's like being married, and it's in a way.
But with less sex.
Well,
sometimes.
Not in my case.
Okay,
but it is to maintain a relationship like this. It's not just the fact that you're spending 4.5 hours a day together, but your well-being, your income, your stature, your livelihood, all of this is connected with each other. It's unique, and I think that you guys are.
Effed up?
Doomed?
Well, I don't want to.
I need you guys to cry. This is why.
Yeah. We got our tears.
It only took 2 hours.
I'm going to be the one to show some emotion here.
Let him talk. Let the man speak.
Okay. I just want to thank you guys. That's it. I love you guys. I do.
I must leave and do 18 podcasts, so I want to just jump in and
By
say...
the way, which one has Asperger's? Is it Bean or Adam? Because I'm actually crying. Adam goes, I got to go do a podcast. I got to.
All right. I will make myself very vulnerable here.
Yes.
When Jimmy sent me an email and he said, "Can you be a part of this?" The subject line was, "I know you're very busy," and I said, "I am very busy, but I would not be busy if it were